It was supposed to be a fun road trip. My wife and 2 kids were excited for our long drive up the coastline, but things quickly took a dark turn after we got into our rented CV. We programmed the Jeeps to take us to our destination, a picturesque beach town nestled among towering redwood trees. But instead of heading north on the freeway as expected, the car veered off onto a winding rural highway. At first I assumed there must have been some mistake. Maybe the route we selected didn't account for traffic conditions or other delays. So I pulled over at a convenience store and tried to adjust the settings on the touchscreen display. When my fingers touched the glass, it felt like electric shocks shot through my body. My children screamed out in terror, while my wife looked at me with concern etched across her face. Then, just as suddenly as it happened, everything returned back to normal. We continued on our journey and soon found ourselves deep in a dense forest with no signs of civilization in sight. The dirt road beneath our tires grew rougher and more treacherous with every passing mile, and eventually turned into nothing more than a narrow path snaking through twisted branches overhead. My wife gripped my arm tightly and whispered, "This is insane. Something has to be wrong." Despite the rising panic in all 4 voices around me, mine included, we pressed forward into the unknown abyss beyond. The unseen spirits of the woods seemed to grow restless, casting an eerie feeling upon everyone inside the cramped car, causing shivers to run down our spines. After several hours of being lost in these uncharted lands, my young son piped up nervously, voice quavering, "Are we, Gad?" Before any response could formulate, a harsh, metallic clank echoed throughout the interior of our car before plummeting violently into darkness. The sound and sensation reminiscent of a falling elevator stopping abruptly once reaching rock bottom. Our car came crashing to the ground with a sickening thud, leaving silence and fear lingering. It was then that I realized the true horror behind our situation. The GP's guidance wasn't leading us astray. It was trying to kill us. The vengeful spirit trapped within the navigational device had chosen us as its next victims. It wanted retribution for whatever crime had led to its own brutal death, and it wouldn't stop until we shared the same fate. Every time I tried restarting the car, it shut down immediately, refusing to continue guiding us towards safety. Desperately searching for a solution, I noticed scratches etched into the dashboard, faint letters spelling out "Get out now," a warning left by someone else who'd encountered this unspeakable evil in the past. Realizing we couldn't wait for rescue and had to act fast, my wife frantically searched online maps on her phone, hoping to discover some landmarks nearby which might point to our location. Fortunately, she managed to triangulate our position and identified a nearby hiking trail, one often used by local teens looking to go camping undetected. With newfound hope pulsing through our veins, we made plans to escape. We packed provisions as well as flashlights, bandages, matches, and other essentials, preparing for our arduous hike away from certain death. With steely determination, we exited the cursed rental, ready to brave the elements while running for our lives. As we trudged deeper into the rugged terrain, I thought I heard whispers on the wind, cold cackles promising pain for those foolish enough to believe they could cheat death itself. At times the rustling of leaves hinted at pursuing entities hidden amidst foliage, watching us like predators stalking prey. But no matter how many fearsome obstacles we faced, none matched the terror wrought by the thing still embedded within our original means of transportation. Even without eyes, I knew the entity remained ever vigilant, waiting patiently for another unwitting soul to provide the key to freedom. Days passed since our departure, but it felt like ages of agony. Each night brought fresh hauntings. Spectral visions of lifeless bodies strewn along the forest floor, mournful wails carried by the wind, and the feeling of unseen hands reaching out to grasp at our very souls. Sleep became a luxury we couldn't afford, for fear of what nightmares awaited us in the darkness. Trail led us deeper into the heart of the woods, where the towering redwoods created a canopy so dense that sunlight struggled to penetrate. The air grew heavy with a suffocating silence, broken only by our heavy breathing and the occasional crackling of twigs underfoot. We knew we were being pursued, shadows lurking just beyond our peripheral vision, but we dared not look back. Exhaustion took its toll on all of us, draining our strength and sapping our spirits. My wife's face grew paler with each passing day, the weight of our ordeal etched into every line on her brow. My children, once filled with boundless energy, now moved with the weariness of those burdened by the weight of the weariness of those burdened by the weight of the world. But still we pressed on, fueled by a determination to survive. Finally, we stumbled upon an abandoned cabin nestled deep within the woods. It stood weathered and worn, its windows shattered, and its wooden frame sagging under the weight of time. It seemed like a cruel joke, a false sanctuary in the heart of our torment. But with no other options left, we had no choice but to seek refuge within its decaying walls. Inside, the air was thick with dust and the scent of decay. Floor creaked beneath our weary feet, and the sound echoed through the empty rooms like a mournful cry. We huddled together in the darkness, the feeble light from our flashlights casting eerie shadows on the wall. But our respite was short-lived. The presence that had haunted us from the beginning was closing in, its malevolent force growing stronger with each passing moment. The cabin shook violently as if caught in the grip of an unseen tempest. The walls cracked and the ceiling threatened to cave in upon us. In a last desperate attempt to escape, I stumbled upon a hidden trapdoor beneath a rotting carpet. Without hesitation, we pried it open, revealing a narrow passage leading underground. It was a path unknown, a gamble in the face of almost certain doom. But we had no other choice. As we descended into the depths, the air grew colder, and the sound of our footsteps echoed in the suffocating darkness. The passageway seemed to stretch on forever, a labyrinth of uncertainty and dread. But we pressed forward, the glimmer of hope driving us deeper into the abyss. Finally, we emerged into a cavern bathed in an otherworldly glow. Stalactites hung from the ceiling like jagged teeth, while stalagmites rose from the ground like bony fingers reaching upward. In the center of the chamber stood an ancient altar, adorned with symbols of an arcane ritual long forgotten. The vengeful spirit closed in, its presence suffocating, its intent unmistakable. It hungered for our souls, ready to claim its final victory. But we had come too far to surrender now. With a newfound resolve, we confronted the entity, armed with nothing but our sheer will to survive. In a climactic struggle, we fought against the malevolent force that sought to consume us. Shadows twisted and writhed, and the air crackled with dark energy. It was a battle of life and death, a fight for our very soul. With a final surge of strength, we managed to banish the spirit back to the depths from whence it came. The cavern shook, and the walls trembled as the entity let out a bone-chilling scream. And then, as suddenly as it had begun, silence fell upon the chamber. We emerged from the depths battered but alive. The forest greeted us with an air of newfound tranquility, as if the very trees whispered their gratitude. We made our way back to civilization, forever changed by our harrowing ordeal. The road trip that was meant to be a fun-filled adventure had become a nightmare beyond imagination. But through the darkness we found strength and resilience. We found strength and resilience we never knew we possessed. And though the scars of that journey would forever mark us, we emerged with a newfound appreciation for life and the fragility of our existence. As for the cursed Deep's device, we disposed of it, never wanting to risk its return. It was a reminder of the horrors we had faced and the resilience that allowed us to overcome them. And as we drove away, leaving the nightmare behind, we knew that we would carry the weight of that experience with us. A reminder to cherish every moment and to never underestimate the darkness that lurks just beyond the surface of our everyday lives. For just $3 a month, you can have your name featured in my YouTube videos and descriptions. Not only will you be supporting my channel, but you'll also be immortalized in the credits of my content. If you're looking for something a bit more personalized, consider becoming a $25 a month patron. I'll voice your stories and bring them to life on my channel. Create a special drawing just for you, or even write a unique story tailored to your interests. So don't hesitate. Join my patron community today and help me keep the spooky stories coming. And remember, together we can save each other from the YouTube algorithm. Thank you for your support.